Welcome back to another episode of my trading vlog, where most of the views come from returning subscribers. If that's you, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button. If not, consider subscribing. Today we're going to go over SPY, of course, AMC, GameStop, PLBY, and FUBO, my new theta play. We'll go over the option strategies, we'll do some review there of how those positions are performing. Starting on SPY on the daily, the intraday. This is the 1 minute chart. You can see that we had a big rally right off the open. This was expected. Yesterday I made a video and I said, hey, we're probably gonna bounce here. Sure enough, there we go. I closed all my short positions on Friday and I'm glad I did. Price moved higher today and then moved through some sort of corrective phase for most of the day, reaching a new high right towards close. Of course, big volume, giving us a nice big green day today. Probably gonna go higher still, I believe. In fact, if I were to have to guess, what I would do is I'd apply the measure rule to the top of the motive wave I've shown here at the minute degree, take my extension tool down to the low of the correction, and this would be wave A, B. I wanna take it from wave C here, and we'll go see where that 100% target is. It's at 449.74 with an extension at 451.75. It'd be pretty intense to reach those tomorrow, but this is a pretty small time frame. This is very possible. Unless earnings somewhere come out really bad, I would actually kind of expect to see SPY to continue to rise. Gonna go into the hourly time frame. I'm gonna open up a different chart drawing here. This is the leading diagonal triangle I've been following, and yes, it is bearish. It's not a falling wedge, but yes, there will be an upward breakout here. Don't be fooled though, the price target for a pattern like this is only like 30% of the pattern height. And when you apply it to the breakout price, what that means is that you're generally going to be retracing through this wave, but not completely getting rid of it, right? Hence, the leading diagonal triangle is overall bearish. As it is a motive wave, motive wave A specifically, we should be expecting to get a corrective wave following it, and that is what we are currently in, wave B, which is for bitch wave, and that's just how I feel about wave B. Wave B is my least favorite wave, it seriously is, and if you don't know why, you'll find out why if you ask for a link to get into the Discord, or if you're in the Discord, you'll see that there, because wave B is the worst. Moving on from SPY, let's go take a peek at the dollar actually next, because the dollar today made a pretty significant move up and out of this bullish continuation level at 102.779. I was calling for this again yesterday. You're going to see that we had a big push up after a little back test. It's almost exactly as I forecasted it. Of course, we should still bear in mind that price may re-enter this consolidation pattern before breaking out higher. If it's going to be a very strong move upward, it won't do that. It will just simply continue to push. We're seeing the RSI reach overbought here on the hourly time frame. This probably gives us a sign that we've reached the end of the first motive wave in the next move. And we should be seeing some chop sideways, and that's going to give SPY room to breathe, definitely. Let's go look at gold futures, because when the dollar goes up, generally gold futures go down. This is exactly what we're seeing. Probably going to come back to 1921 and do some waffling around here for a bit. After all, it looks like we may have been moving through an ascending broadening wedge. When we get the breakout from this pattern, we're expecting to return to the beginning of it, which was towards 1911. Moving on now, let's go to AMC. Today, I decided to have some fun and trade a call. I could have taken profits, decided to hold, because you never know the meme stocks, right? This is ridiculous, this RSI going from overbought to oversold, like, instantly. That's ridiculous. Let's zoom into the minute time frame here. I think I actually put together a little chart here. I don't really know where. I think it was this one, yes. And for a moment there, I was supposing we could also be in some sort of leading diagonal through here, but I don't know. I ended up bailing on my call as price started to move down. Let's see, probably right through here. Yeah, like right here before the big takonk. I bailed because after all, we failed to really set wave 5, making this more appropriately labeled A, B, and C. Remember, I'm supposing that we aren't really getting true sets of 5 motive waves in the meme stocks, but we're stuck in waves of 3, specifically A, B, and C. And what that does is it creates these motive waves that can look very healthy. Look at wave C. Wave C took us from 327 to 362, which on a percentage basis is pretty impressive. Let's see here. What is that, 10%? After a rally like that and a sharp retrace, you'd be expecting wave 5 to show up, but wave 5 never did show up. It would be a beautiful motive wave structure where wave 2 through here was a sideways correction and wave 4 would be a sharp, but we didn't get it. That's all there is to it. And so the price continues to move through correction purgatory, we'll call it. Looking at APE now, Ape had a massive dump and pump, and now we're floating around $2. So if Ape's at 209 and AMC is at 338, we're looking at around, what, 540 odd? I mean, okay, that's not too bad, but still probably there could be more room to move down until AMC actually raises some money through dilution by selling shares. We're going to be watching these two very carefully still. Moving on to GameStop, we may have finally reached the low of this motive wave C. I just keep dragging it over. It's like, where are the targets? The extension target, after all, is 1810. We could still be going lower. You're going to notice something, and that is that the RSI is having a hard time at around 50. This generally signals that the bears are in control. Momentum is negative, to say, and that we'll watch the price continue to complete motive wave counts to the downside. This is getting absolutely brutal. Look at this thing. It's just all over the place. But again, meme stocks stuck in A, B, and C, moving sideways through tall trading ranges. That will be my analysis on the meme stocks. And the reasons for that are kind of conspiracy theories, but until something happens otherwise, I think I've got it figured out. So moving on from the meme stocks, I don't want to spend too much time there. I saw some pretty big price movement today on NVDA as well. It was a big up. Boom! We almost reached that extension target at 404.15. I'm wondering if I zoom into a smaller time frame if we actually got there. We got very, very close. Looks like the low is at 405.21. Okay, so 403.11. There we go. A low of 403.11 is below that target. We hit it. We definitely hit it. And I took that target from the first motive wave down in this corrective cycle forever ago. I probably should have, was it this one? Yeah, it's this one. I probably should pull it up, actually. We hit the target a while ago. That's okay. So we've now gone through a corrective phase here. Are we going to move higher or grind sideways? It's a really good question. I think we've completed a motive wave count through here. That's kind of what the double top generally tends to signal. And we may now be moving through a B wave, which I'm always going to characterize as a triangle first because that is very common here. I'm going to say this is probably wave A. We're moving sideways now for B, and we'll see wave C in a sell-off in the future. It looks like we have earnings again on August 23rd. Really? Already? That sounds way too soon. But maybe time has just passed faster than I have been paying attention, which is more likely. At any rate, we're following a video very closely. Whenever I look at a video, I go look at AMD. AMD grinding sideways, bouncing off of 107.20. That's a big level of support. Again, sideways grind here is what I'm looking for, and we could easily characterize this corrective pattern as a descending triangle with that horizontal level support resistance at that 107 level. This is moving per the analysis as well. Let's go take a look at some other things too very quickly. Tesla hitting its target today, that 100% target at 235.21. Fantastic. We've finally reached it. That would be wave C, and it's important to bear in mind that wave C may extend to the 161.8 extension at 224.94, more like 230.88. This is the more conservative target. Again, just taking that from the first impulse down and then to the top of that corrective wave. Once we get that breakout below that level, which I called 252.07, we can expect to reach that target at some point in time. This is looking like a pretty healthy downward push, honestly. The RSI hasn't even reached overbought in a long time. Definitely watching a motive wave unfold here. We'll see if we don't get a flash crash to a target and then a sharp bounce. For some reason, I feel like that would be how that might unfold. Apple is moving through wave B, which of course is the worst wave ever. We've had a downward breakout of the diamond through here. The diamond may serve as a half staff formation, meaning that will get an equal push downward as the incoming trend, which was pretty tall. It was really tall. And when I do that, the target, let's see here, becomes 163.38, which is ridiculous. But again, that was a big push, wasn't it? That was a big push. The problem with this analysis is that it takes the price beyond the top of the initial impulse, I believe. Let's see here. Wave 1 is somewhere back here. Oh god, that's a lot of clutter, but I think right here. Yeah, there's minor wave 1 right there. That high is at 155.73. So actually there's more room down for wave 4. And this could still be like in a quote-unquote bullish structure where we're waiting for wave 5 at the minor degree to come up, but it would likely truncate, which means that it would not set a new high above 196.43. So we're going to follow that very, very closely. I think that's all I want to go through today. A lot of analysis, a lot of targets being reached, but FUBO, of course, is on deck, and then PLBY, so we got a couple more to go. These videos are long. I don't know if people like the long videos. I hope so. I enjoy making them. Here we go. So FUBO is my new theta play. So I've got my option strategies here. If you want to watch yesterday's video, I go over it there pretty intensely. And this motive wave count is holding pretty good. We are in a wave 4, which tends to break upward channels, which we've done. And we did come down on the day, which was what Stock Ed was expecting. And we bounced on the weekly trigger that he was sharing. And so I'm not quite sure what is next as long as price remains below. He said the hourly and daily trigger remain above the weekly trigger, then there's risk to the downside. Personally, I'm thinking that we may have seen a very sharp wave 4 correction. Wave B may or may not be over. If we do get a downward push, 189 is a target, and that's per Stock Ed. But also, when I do my own analysis and I take the extension tools out, and I suppose that we get a 50% push down. 187 or 189 is a really good target. And the reason why I use that 50% is because that initial motive wave definitely characterized the majority of that push. And when wave C tends to be, quote, truncated or shorter than expected, that's a great place to put it. We've got a significant level of price and support and resistance at 202. And the reason why that's there is because that would be the top of the initial impulse wave. Wave 1, or A, at the minuet degree. There's also a strong level of support resistance at the top of sub-minuet wave 1 at 221, and that's where we saw price bounce today, opening up a smaller time drawing set. There we go. You can see I have bearish continuation labeled at 230, and this is 10 cents lower than I had it in yesterday's video. I think this is a better level. You can see price spilling out of B, but then bouncing. As soon as price reaches above the height of wave B at 261, then we invalidate a bearish wave count and we go for a positive motive wave. So the price currently is below 250, which is the strike I sold in my put. And so I'm going to bring that up and show it to you here. You can see how those positions are doing. Now, ideally, everything there expires worthless on the FUBO positions. I don't need that call to run into the money. I don't need the long put to run to the money. What I really want to see is that 250 put expire worthless. The price closing today at 243 puts it in the money, but that's not so bad after watching that big dump earlier today. So tomorrow's going to be a very important day for that trade, and I'm going to be following that very, very closely. Overall, I'm pretty optimistic. You can see also that I re-entered PLBY today at 150. And the reason I do that is because the price to me appears to be pretty range bound through here. And I'm actually revising my count now to reflect more A, B, and C extensions, which is so annoying. You can see the daily candle was a big red coming back down to the level we bounced at a few trading sessions ago. Let's zoom in here. And maybe what I'll even do is run you through some of these chart patterns. We definitely formed a triangle through here, right? And that thing broke up and then broke down, which is always unfortunate. Earnings pushing that lower. I was really not all that happy with earnings. I really wasn't. We've broken the uptrend. We're now below it. And closing down here confirms that we'll find more downside most likely. But I'm looking at this level of support and resistance at 150-ish, and I'm saying to myself, I think that will go for a bounce here. And if it's true that price is pretty range bound at the moment, then we should get another set of 3 heading higher. And once we complete, I think, let's see here, this is A, B, C, A, B, C, maybe one more A, B, and C wave, and then we'll start to figure out what's really going on. It looks like we could be in a very large pattern. It could be much larger than I really want to even think about, but it could be a rectangle. It could be some sort of broadening pattern. Personally, though, I still am bullish on PLBY, just waiting patiently here. And I'm not going to be trading any more options on PLBY. I was thinking about selling a 250 put way in the future, but decided against it. Figured I'd be able to do that better on FUBO or a different stock. And so holding off, just going to be trading these 100 shares back and forth, expecting a pop here, probably to come and fill a gap. I know some people don't necessarily call them gaps, but I call a gap whenever there's a price difference between the close of one day and the open of another. Let's see here. This was the open. We closed here. Nope, that one filled. Let's see. Are there no gaps here? This is an open and a close. This is a close and an open. Looks like we don't have any gaps left. That's too bad. I mean, there are gaps on this chart, but they're at like $3, you know, like way up here. Like there's a gap. And so there's some hope that we'll get back up here eventually, but who knows when. Right now, we're just grinding sideways. So I'll be trading shares back and forth for a bit. That's what I have for today's video. If you like, comment, subscribe. You know, you do you, I do me. It's been a good time in the Discord. Maybe I'll be doing some videos explaining calls and puts if people want that. I don't know. Happy trading.